Pineapple Express meets D&D. Yeah, let's do it. Your Highness. Now, Your Highness is like one of those medieval quest movies with a lot of pot and dick jokes. And it stars two brothers, one who's like the shining knight of awesome, and the other who's the shitty little brother that no one cares about. So it's pretty much Boromir and Faramir if Boromir was James Franco, and Faramir was a really fat stoner. Now, in Your Highness, James Franco's fiance, played by Zoe Deschanel, is that how you pronounce her last name? That's how I'm gonna say it. I'm gonna say Deschanel, has been kidnapped by a warlock who doesn't get booed off stage. Yeah, that guy. And the whole thing is when the moon's eclipsed, the warlock's gonna bang the chick, and she's gonna give birth to a dragon, and then they're gonna get the Cataclysm expansion. They don't want that. That douche. And they have to go quest to get her back. And along the way, they run into Natalie Portman, who's this really hot... Yeah, she's still hot. This was pre-pregnant Natalie Portman. Badass warrior chick who does not take shit from anyone, who can kick anyone's ass, and does not cook. Which can mean only one thing. Lesbian. Now, this movie was pretty funny. I didn't like it as much as I wanted to. I really wanted to like this movie because I really liked Pineapple Express. And the best I can figure it, it's like the crew of Pineapple Express was playing D&D while playing Warcraft while at a Renaissance fair. And that just sounds like all sorts of awesome that I would love. But it was a nice bit of awesome that I generally liked. Now, the jokes in this movie are way too, like, in your face. I like jokes that take a bit of brains to figure it out. This one's like, oh, it's a dick joke. Yeah, there you go. And I understand pop movies, even if they're like medieval fantasy movies, aren't like rocket science. It's not like brain surgery. You don't need like a 4-year degree or even a high school diploma to figure them out, but the humor just seemed a little cheap. I mean, it's not meant to be taken seriously, and I know that. It's a total slap in the tits to all things medieval fantasy. Just in the way they talk, they're like, brother, we must go and quest to get her back. And it's exaggerated and it's funny, but I just think that's funnier than just, you know, a Minotaur dick hanging around a neck. Although I laughed when I just said that, but you know what I mean. That is pretty funny though. And comparing it to Pineapple Express, which is what I'm gonna do a lot, I felt the humor in Pineapple Express was a bit smarter. It doesn't mean I didn't laugh in this movie. I did. I laughed a few times. But it wasn't like a great comedy. And that's what I wanted. I expected a great comedy. So it was a pretty funny movie, but considering this should have been my cup of tea, it being a comedy that's a medieval fantasy movie with questing and magic, I should have loved it. So I would say Your Highness is a good time if you're other than drunk. Dude. Now it's the party. It was so deep. I'm not a big pothead, but they might require that you have, you know, something else. But if you like what you've seen here and you want to see more, click right here to see more.